Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. Welcome to a new day. You're very brave to have clicked on this video with that title. I'm sure that you're wondering what on earth is Margaret going to talk about today, this Gulk advantage or Gawk Factor. Well, it's actually based on an article by one of our bloggers, Marie Burns. And at this time of the year, I think it's kind of nice to reflect on the changes that we were all trying to put into our lives starting a little while ago. The month of resolutions has gone. You can't go back there. It's done. I'm sure that many of you started the year wanting to change certain parts of your life, certain habits, but they either are on the way or probably more likely they just are not completely finished or even started. So it's okay. We're all in that position. We've all got things that we wanted to do, things we wanted to change in our lives, and maybe we've done it to a certain degree, but there's still lots more of opportunity. And maybe there was, one thing in particular that we were trying to make a big change in, and it's a struggle. I really do understand that. And I'm going to talk about three different things that we focus on and how getting them all aligned is really important. And that's where this Gawk factor, this looking at things and being sort of almost obsessive about it or unconscious about it, that can help us. So maybe the thing that you really wanted to change, you haven't even started yet. So maybe it was like a really nice thing on a piece of paper at the beginning of January, and now it's like, a memory. And you think occasionally, oh gosh, I really wanted to change that habit or change that behavior. Anyway, the way that Marie positions this, and Marie is a financial analyst, by the way, so she's actually coming at this from a financial money perspective. But money is like broad, right? It's not just the dollars and francs and pounds in your hand. It's bigger than that. But she talks about the 3 M's: mind, money, and motion. These are the things that we, in her opinion, need to get in alignment. Now, mind, of course, is what you think about, you bring about. So basically aligning your thoughts and your act and your the inner so unconscious desires with the reality of action, of doing something about it. You bring about what you think about, for sure. So that's mind. The online bank account or your online statement is a reflection of the value that you place on money. So where you've spent your money, all the things that you've spent your money on this last few months or weeks, they reflect your values. They reflect who you are, what's important to you. And I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it. Look at your statement, look at the things that you purchased and think, that's what was important to me. And are those reflecting the mind, what you wanted from your life? And then the final thing is motion. In the sense of, are you getting out into the world? Are you doing things for yourself that, are fulfilling? How are you spending your time? So how you spend your time has got to do with motion. So looking at your bank account tells you about your values, your money. Looking at your thoughts tells you about what you're thinking about and doing and your actions. And then the motion is all the things that how you're spending your days. What's in your calendar? What's in your diary? Are you walking around aimlessly? Are you doing things are you going to the gym? Are you going to meet with friends? What's important to you? So if your mind, money, and motion are in alignment, this is kind of where we want to be. We want to be spending our money on stuff that's important, not on things that, that we end up throwing away or don't need or, realize it was a complete waste. And how we act and what we do. Do we go to the theater? Do we read books? Do we knit? Do we sew? Do we volunteer? Do we work? All the things that we do with our time is our emotion. And then back to the thoughts. Those, the 3. So those are the 3. So what's the Gawk factor? Well, we all know what gawking is. Gawking is where the example, of course, is when you're going down the road in the car and suddenly, if you're driving and you see suddenly, or on the bus, like me, and you see a whole bunch of, red lights ahead of you and, you're going to stop because there's been some incident, something has happened on the road. And so you immediately go into this kind of unconscious mode of like, maybe you're, just thinking about work, or you're thinking about where you're going or what you're doing, going to the shops or whatever. And then almost your mind kind of switches on to kind of an unconscious kind of fascination with, well, what is it? What was that? What's happened? And sometimes it is an accident. Sometimes it's just a broken down car. Sometimes it's a duck crossing the road with her ducks and her babies. It can be anything, but it's like this. And in fact, the definition in Webster's dictionary of gawking is actually staring empty-minded in fascination. Stop, stare, and wonder. And it's like it's not garish. Well, it can be, I suppose, if there's something that's happened, of course. But more than likely, it's like, oh, what was that? And it's not even that you're conscious of it. You just kind of gaze at it, and you start thinking of possibilities, like how did that happen, or where did that something tipped out of a car or something, and it's like, oh, that was interesting, and you start thinking about and as aimlessly and analyzing, and that's but it's kind of restless, and it's just unconscious. So if you, according to Marie, can intentionally gawk at your life, so intentionally look at the things you are doing with a little, an eagle eye, with a very sharp perspective. So in other words, not instead of just checking your statement and saying, oh, well, I spent $500 on blah, blah, blah. You say, wow, I spent $250 on Starbucks. That's a joke. Well, maybe it's not, but it's like I spent $250 on snacks, on food from restaurants. $250. Wow. And you think, what on earth did I buy for $250? But over a month, that's only like, that's $10 a day. And that just at the time doesn't sound very much, right? For a lunch or for some snack. And you think, gosh, I could have just packed a little lunch, or I could, and you start thinking and gawking at that bank account gives you an opportunity to think, wow, that was a bit of a waste of money. And it wasn't really aligned to my values, because one of my goals for the year, when I think back on it, was to eat healthy food. And the why was, of course, because you want to live a long and healthy life. But sometimes when you're standing out, waiting for the bus or whatever, you forget and you buy coffee or tea, and you just, or in your car you buy a snack at McDonald's, or you go through Starbucks. Maybe it was $250 on Starbucks after all, but fortunately we don't have drive-through Starbucks in Switzerland. We do have drive-through McDonald's, which is just we have one McDonald's I've never seen one except the one in our town, and I don't have a car, so I don't drive, but you can drive through. Anyway, I digress. So that's the thing with your bank account. If you're looking at your, so how you spend your money is like Maria is most interested, but it's really important. The other thing is like motion, for example. If you're finding that you can't, unless you keep track in a diary, you don't really remember what you did during the period of a month. But did you go to the gym? Did you go out for a walk? Did you go into nature once a day? Maybe one of your resolutions, one of your goals was to walk 10,000 steps a day, or 5,000, or just to get out into a park, or go walk for a couple of miles. I was actually looking at her notes here that she says most people suffer from what's called a nature deficit disorder in her financial framework. Only 5% of the day is typically spent outside in Mother Nature. So go for a gawk walk, she says. Go for a gawk walk and gawk at your life. Gawk at your bank account, at your thoughts that you started the year. Are you putting those into action? And have you changed some of the things that you were hoping to change? And if not, ask yourself why. Know your why. Know why. I mean, if you started your year wanting to change something and you don't know why you wanted to change it, you're probably not going to do it. I remember I signed up for Noon. I don't know if anyone's doing Noon. I don't do it anymore, but I started because I wanted to check it out and see what it was. Noon is a way of, it's kind of to help you lose weight. And basically the first thing they ask you though, when you go into the app and you start to fill in your profile is, what's your goal? Okay, so you can say, I want to lose weight. And so then you say, well, why? And then the next question is, to yourself is, well, because I want to have a healthier life. And then you click the button and it says, why? And then you say, well, because I want to spend more time with my family and my friends and enjoy this beautiful world, period. And then it's why. And it keeps going deeper and deeper in the why until you realize that there's actually a reason here that it's important that I do these things to manage my diet and lose some weight. It just all goes back to the initial thing. So know your why. Is your goal to improve your time with your family and friends? Well, then maybe you should put some of that money that you're spending on Starbucks into, something to do with your family. Maybe it's a savings account for your grandchildren, or putting just even $10 a month into a piggy bank so that you can buy some books for your grandkids, or you know what I'm saying. I'm just making it up as I go, but you get the idea. The why is important, and then the next step, of course, is comes from your thoughts. So once you've had this analysis during your Gulk walk or during your Gulk analysis, you can then say, okay, I'm going to take a positive, structured approach to my thoughts so that they're leading me to actions that will change make the change that I want. Hope this has been interesting. I actually found this, I'm probably not doing a very good job of describing it because I've actually applied it in my life in so many ways, but I don't want to make it about me. I want it to be about you, because you will understand it better if you absorb it into your reality. So basically, look for support in your friends and your family if you need it. There's actually a lot of things you can go online. I know Marie leaves some tips in her article, which I'll leave a link to in the description box underneath this video. And by the way, if you don't know where that is, underneath this video, if you're watching on your laptop, it says see more. If you click on that, it'll come up to a description box with some text and some links. And if you're on your phone, underneath the video, there's a little downward arrow. And it's like a tiny little arrow. And if you click that, you'll get the same thing. The same thing will happen. So whenever I say it's in the description box below, that's where it is. So I hope that you'll find everything in there and get some motivation and some support for making your changes that you want to around your mind, your emotion, and your money. So thank you again for being here. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel. If you do want to make a step into a smaller group of women with our community, we have a Patreon group. This group is amazing. It's a smaller group, because we're such a big group, it's hard to connect in real life. But this group meets twice a week on exclusive live shows. I do exclusive videos, and people are meeting each other. We've had 2 people that went on cruises together. We've had groups meeting east and west in just little get-togethers, coffee gatherings. And so 60andMe women are starting to find each other. If it's of interest to you, our supporters group is on patreon.com/60andMe. I'd love to have you there. It would be wonderful to have you join. And of course, I'm leading the live shows, and I'm there just chatting, and I get to be myself, which is really fun. Not that I'm not myself here, but I get to just, chat about stuff I'm doing and what's happened. And I do travel videos too for little trips I take, and it's a fun place. So it's patreon.com/60andMe. Would love to have you there. And thank you for your support. Take care, everybody. Have a great day wherever you are, and know that I love you and think about you a lot. I really do hope you're okay, staying safe and strong and courageous. This is a tough time, but you'll be okay. Take care.